Hello and welcome to our instructional video on how to run the grassroots meeting. I always try and do what I can to make it easy for people to do service work, and sharing is no exception. I know that a lot of online meetings have people hosting and sharing and stuff at the same time. In grassroots, we try and separate this as much as we can. We want people with 30 days or more to be able to share. We want to make it simple. Sharing should not be overwhelming. It should not be very overwhelming. So, what I'm doing is I'm putting together a video to show you how to run a grassroots AA meeting. So, now keep in mind formats change. In fact, this format's going to change, is going to change in the next few days, but that's not going to affect this video. All right. All right. To start out with, anything in red is important. It is important. Before you start, make sure you have your readers ready. The things that we read here, according to this, traditions, reflections, and big book. I'm taking the tradition at, well, maybe not. So you're going to want to find readers for this. We usually get started about 3, 4 minutes after. People tend to kind of come in, but we also go after 3, 4 minutes. Keep in mind that if the meeting goes short, nobody else wants to share, feel free to end the meeting, go to the parking lot. Um, if uh, if you still have one person that has left to share, please give them a chance to share. We could always stay for another. We'd always stay for another drink, right? So it says if you are hosting, this will be taken out. So don't worry about that. Remember to have a topic. Remember to have a topic ready. Okay, and we're going to switch this over to host. But if you can do it, there are resources right down here at the bottom, and just copy and paste these into chat as you have time. All right. We ask that you stick to the script. It has been written. It has been written in a way, in order, in cadence. But we'll kind of go over this. So you start out with the meeting, opening the meeting. My name is Dion. I'm an alcoholic. Remember that this is a closed meeting. Our online meeting is closed. And what that means is that anybody who has a desire to stop drinking, that's what it means. So that means if somebody's sober curious, you are not required to say that you are an alcoholic. No, even if you are sober curious, you are welcome. Let's talk a little bit about crosstalk. Okay. Crosstalk here is said, it says it's defined as giving advice, interrupting others, directly talking against what someone else has said. It's anything that creates contention. We're not here for that. We're not doctors. We're not lawyers. We're not counselors. Well, we might be, but we're not in AA meetings. Okay. So now when somebody says, I'd like to expound on what somebody else said, that is not crosstalk. That is actually encouragement. And we very much do encouragement here. Okay. And this meeting is a little different because we are going back to a format that we used to use back in the 90s. Okay. And you'll see it's a little different, probably not too much. And that's exactly why it is called grassroots. We're going back to a type of meeting that we know works. All right. To help with the structure, everyone is muted and they need to raise their virtual hand. That's how we do it here. Make sure, sometimes people will just wave at the screen because they can't find the virtual hand. I'd like to make a little video that kind of shows it. But then you open the meeting with the Serenity Prayer. You're going to read the preamble, and again, just stick to the script here. Okay. When it comes to these introductions, the one thing that I've noticed with this right here, and this is where it's going to change. I'll put a little note up here. Take your time on this. Okay. I'm removing this first one right here. Is there anyone attending grassroots for the first time? I don't think that we really need it. Now, in other meetings, what they have is they ask people to do first, second, or third meeting since their last drink in 29 days. All right. That is not how we used to do it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to tell you why we decided to do it that way. Because people have slips, man. And when you have to raise your hand for 29 days for 6 months, it gets a little redundant. We are here to help people, not determine their time. So we're good with first, second, or third meeting. Well, I don't think we need to go anything beyond that. I think asking both those questions, uh, it demeans people. So that's why we don't do it. Is there anyone celebrating a milestone? There's a difference between a milestone and an anniversary or birthday. Okay. A milestone is within the first year. It denotes 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, or 9 months. After that, we celebrate anniversaries. So I should change birthday to anniversary there. All right. Is anybody celebrating an anniversary of a year or more? Again, give people time. All right. From there, we do send out chips. We have somebody that is the chip giver. It is a service position. It is filled right now. I'm not going to bring up a name because that'll blow anonymity. All right. But we do send out chips. I know some say that they do virtual chips. Never seen a virtual chip in my life. Don't know what it would be good for. This next line is where we are much different. Is there anyone here who is looking for a sponsor? As opposed to, is anybody here willing to sponsor? Okay. Now we've done that because that is how the big book asks us to do it. There's plenty of stuff in the big book that tells us how to find somebody to help. But what it does not do is tell us, let's sit on our butts and wait till somebody's sick enough that they're willing to ask us. No, we are a proactive group. And part of the main reason that we're doing what we're doing is to help people find sponsors. That is one of the main things that we do. We do verifications here. You are not going to do the verification, so do not worry about that. The host will be doing the verification or one of the co hosts. All right. The next part is people are not required to turn on their camera. Now, what we have done here is, and this is where we're a little different again, we are not listed on what would be called OIAA, Online International Alcoholics Anonymous. That's where a lot of trolls and bombers go to get the information so that they can interfere with the meeting. So we are not listed there. We're mostly a word of mouth. We are listed at DACA, which is the Denver Area Central Office, but that is one of the only places that we are listed. We also have some other places, professional places that refer to our group. Okay. So we want people to be accountable. When you go to an in person meeting, you don't get to hide behind a camera. You don't get to. So we're trying to encourage people to be accountable. Now we ask them to do it, but it is not required. Again, it is not required to turn on your camera. Okay. But we have not had one bomber yet. We haven't had one. I'm sure it might happen sooner or later, but we haven't had one yet. From there, you're going to do the readings. So remember at the beginning of the meeting, you are asking people, to do the readings for you. Make sure. So those are your prep. That's your prep work. Yeah, find a few people to read. Just say, hey, who would like to do this? Who would like to do that? Write it down so you don't forget, because I always forget. Once those are done, if you have not picked it, this is the way that it usually works. And I usually need to, and I should put so when we open up, we ask if anybody has a topic they would like to discuss. Okay. A topic is usually a step, but let's talk about what topics are and aren't. Actually, let's just cover about what topics are not. Maybe somebody has a personal problem. Maybe, these are things, but we're going to talk about the solution to the problem. What an AA meeting is not is a therapy session. We do not dump at AA meetings. That is not how it works. Okay. So we are always going to stick to the solution. Politics and religion, what we would call outside issues, are not talked about in AA meetings. We are not doctors. We are not lawyers. We are not therapists. I know I said that before, but we are not. All we do is we share our experience, strength, and hope on the topic. There's usually a timer, usually 3 to 4 minutes, but you do not need to worry about the timer. You are chairing. So this says, if you've not already picked a topic, you can ask a group if there's anyone who has something they wish to discuss. All topics are to be AA related, and we stay on the solution. Okay, and this is your job. Your job is to keep the meeting going. If no one raises their hand, then call on people or make it a tag meeting. There should be no reason for silence. Okay. There are some groups that have meditation time. We do not. You meditate on your own time. We are there for camaraderie and fellowship. So if nobody is raising their hand, you can make it a tag meeting or a round robin meeting, and that just means that you're going to pick someone, and then they need to pick someone until everybody has been picked. But the main thing there is your job would be to see who has not shared yet. So when somebody says, hey, I'm not sure who hasn't shared yet, and you can assist them. Your job is to keep the meeting going. Okay. It's your biggest responsibility, honestly. Halftime. We usually do it about halfway. If it doesn't happen exactly then, no biggie. Sometimes you might even forget because the meeting is going so well. I know I've done that. Somebody might remind you. So, but what happens is a QR code is shared. You do not need to worry about the QR code. Nope. The host or one of the co-hosts will take care of that for you. So just stick to the script. Now, I'm going to let you know this part right here says, are there any AA related announcements? That's going to be put to the bottom. And there will be a bunch of announcements for you to read. Just read the announcements. Ask if anybody else has any other announcements. And then they do not even need to be co-hosts. It can be anybody. Okay. Make sure that you read these. If you have 30 days or more, we encourage you to sign up. If you're a newcomer, please stay after the meeting for the parking lot meeting. I'm going to change that. And then literally just open the meeting back up, either call on the next person that has their hand raised, or if you've made it a tag meeting, then go to that next person that was called on. Towards the end of the meeting, let's say there's 10 minutes left. Nobody else is sharing. Nobody else wants to double dip. You can end the meeting. No biggie. There's nowhere in the big book or anywhere that says a meeting has to be an hour. I've been to some meetings that have gone over 2 hours before because we just felt like hanging out. So you ask, are there any burning desires? A burning desire is this and nothing less, that you are going to go out and drink, hurt yourself, or hurt someone else. That is a burning desire. If there are none of those, then what you do is you go ahead and end the meeting with the closing of the Lord's Prayer. Make sure you say the remember who you see here, what you hear here, and what is said here stays here. Now, if you get lost, remember that the script is your best friend. So the script is your best friend. All right. I feel like this video has already kind of gone a little too long already. So we're going to go ahead and end it there. If you have any other questions on how to chair a meeting for Grassroots, please feel free to reach out to me and I will get that answered for you. Thank you very much. And I hope you have a great, sober day.